Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. The day this goes out is January 13th, 2023. Friday, January the 13th, 2023, also marks the 6th-year anniversary of a certain girl group by the name of Dreamcatcher. The group was reborn from the ashes of bubblegum pop group Minx with the addition of two members and turned the industry on its head with its very unique rock sound and the nightmare dark concept. 6 years later, they're still kicking about. And what better way to just celebrate the achievement and the progression of their careers than to do a full career deep dive? Well, technically, it's not a deep dive because I know about them already. I definitely don't like alt the group or anything. Like, no, what would you make? What make you think that? I definitely don't have bookshelf full of albums over there. I'm definitely not wearing their concert merch or anything. Nah, absolutely not. Anyway, but I initially wanted to do like a big old like video essay type of deal, but I didn't have enough time between just the holiday season. I wanted to take a little break, and the year end like awards video from 2022 taking up a lot of time. I just didn't have enough time to script out everything I wanted to, or at least script out something that would do the group justice. So we're just gonna do a little deep dive this year. Might do something special for the 7th year next year. It's 7 members, 7th year. You get the point. But we're gonna check out every single MV they've released. Not special clips, MVs. So you've all the title track MVs, both Korean and Japanese. Even Dami and Shion's OST and Shion's single Paradise will be on here. And we're just gonna go in chronological order from the beginning, and maybe some before then. If you know, you know. But from the beginning all the way to the most recent one, which if you have, I checked out Vision way back in the day. It was actually my first reaction video I ever uploaded to this channel. But we're gonna watch it again because the song's grown on me. I've gotten to hear it live, whole works. But what better place to start the whole thing than 2014? Now, I bet you're thinking, 2014, that's not 6 years ago. Correct. So we're starting pre-DC days, the dark days, as some people call it. We're going to start with Minx. So we're going back to, I believe this is September or August 2014. Mamamoo had just debuted. Lovelies had just debuted. I think BTS had just debuted. EXO had a massive release. Dal Shabet had come back earlier in the year. 21 had comebacks. This was a very different time in the industry. But yeah, we're gonna start with Minx and just have experienced the emotional whiplash that was the DC debut together. So this is going to be a very long video, and I mean very long video. The playlist itself is 25 videos long. Uninterrupted, it's an hour and 29 minutes. So with me rambling over, it is going to be a long sit-in. So find a comfortable place to sit and watch. Grab yourself a drink and maybe a snack. I've ditched the mug and gone for a full hydro flask today. I've also got some snacks. I've got some squashies that I may tuck into about halfway down when I get hungry, because it is snack time for me. But here we go. This is going to be a fun ride, because, well, I personally have never actually done a sit-in like this where I've just gone through the entire career of DC. And as much as I'd like to think of myself as an avid and strong insomnia, there are songs on here, like especially the Japanese stuff, I don't go back and listen to all that often. So this will be a whole new experience for me. And while I feel like I'm missing a part of me because I don't have my guitar with me, I'm going to save you all the pain and misery that is me trying to play guitar along with the DC title track. So here we go. Dreamcatcher. But technically not, because we're starting with Minx. Uri jibe we wa ni. Oh, here we go. 3, 2, 1. prepare for some emotional whiplash, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between. September 2014, what a time. I won't comment on the short shorts and the booby shots because it was a different time. I'm here to just absolutely relish in this emotional whiplash that is Minx, but also, how has... We'll wait for the next shot GU pops up, but... How has GU not aged in 9 years? Like, GU, for me, looks exactly the same here as she does right now. I don't understand that. Also, BOCA Sua, she might enjoy the longer hair, but I really like BOCA Sua. I think it suits her so well. Don't get me wrong, her long hair is an absolute look, but I really like this hair. Even back then, Xi'an's vocals, my gosh. Like, she was a good vocalist here. Whistle tones. Not many people even today do whistle tones. Like, off the top of my head, for me, like, whistle tones, Hayoung and DM from S9. Why did you come to my home? Minx Era Xi'an. Oh, that's so strange. It's so strange going back and like... Oops. Oh, well, I guess if you know, you knew. But Minx Era for me is such a weird concept. And I'm guessing that a lot of Insomnias will feel the same way because... I don't know how many of us were around when the 5 of the 7 debuted as Minx back in 2014 and 15. Because I wasn't. I think, if I'm being brutally honest, my first comeback with them was Scream and the Tree of Language album. And it's just such a foreign idea to think that if you know their music, Minx should not work. But if you know their personalities off stage, you can kind of understand why Minx became a thing. Because off screen, they are some of the most chaotic, unfiltered idols I've ever come across. And to be fair, actually a lot of idol groups can say that. But DC kind of just is a mess. Short, sweet, and simple, like a mess TM. And I love them to bits for it. But like, especially older DC, can kind of see little elements of like why they were Minx to begin with. But musically, they're so far apart from each other that it shouldn't work. But it did, and we're so happy it did because Dreamcatcher are iconic. And they wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Minx, no matter how much we meme about him. But, anyways, Love Shake. I unironically really like this album. Like, straight up, I really like this album. So, here we go. Let's bring it on. Let's bring it back. I'm assuming this still only has... Yeah, it doesn't have all the or it doesn't have English subs. And yes, I know this is a remake of the Dalshabet song. Actually, it's really hard to find the Dalshabet version of this song. I don't know why. It's not on Spotify, I know that for a fact. Like, if you had to describe bubblegum pop song, and I know they got to perform it during their Halloween concerts in Korea, and we watched the fan cam of this performance of just all 7 DC members dancing along to it. Oh god. Minx Dami for me is really hard to watch because it's like, knowing her character, it's like, you know, like how painful like cutesy Dami can be sometimes, and like in a good way, because Dami just does not like forcing aegyo, but when it naturally happens, it's freaking adorable. But you can tell when she's forcing an aegyo, and here you can like kind of tell that like all of their like cutesy facades is like kind of forced, because it's like the concept, right? I'm still glad this song exists. I don't appreciate or enjoy the trauma that was inflicted because of it, but I quite enjoy the song. Ma'am, how have you not aged yet? All the members have had massive glow-ups too. Bobcat Shion, or Bobcat Sua. One thing I do want to like note, the one thing that I have noticed now is just how much better incorporated all their vocals are into DC songs. Like Shion's especially, like when it came to Minx songs, or at least the 2 title tracks, a lot of it, especially the final chorus, is just Shion kind of going off on her own, like with the whistle notes and Why Did You Come to My Home, or the high parts in Love Shake. It's the same concept where you have the rest of the members carrying on like the melody parts of it, and then you have Shion kind of going off on her own at the top. And while like it's tremendously impressive how she stays up there and just belts at the higher register, a part of you does kind of want to like hear it incorporated within the melody instead of just having someone off on their own sometimes. And it's like, even after 2 songs, it kind of gets a little bit old, I think, or like predictable. And I'm really glad that that DC switch happened, because I think once Dreamcatcher formed as like a full unit, musically everything was incorporated so much better. And Minx was, if you notice like the dates when they were released, like of what 9 month wait in between releases for a debuting group, where the first one was a literal single album, and even this was, by today's standards, is a short EP, because what was it? The Love Shake EP had 4 songs and 2 remixes of Love Shake. Well, 1 remix and an instrumental. So that's considered a long single these days. And this was July 2015. Why Did You Come to My Home was September 2014. And it's just like, Happy Face didn't really give them like the proper, I think, attention they needed as a debuting girl group, especially in the scene they were in, because this is early 3rd gen at this point. And 2015, you would have had groups like Twice and G-Friend debut. But then we get a, super long hiatus. Oh no, Minx is gonna disband. Oh, what are they gonna come back with? Oh, wait a minute. What's this? Dreamcatcher? Never heard of this group before. Debut. Oh, a new girl group. It must be like this really cutesy like pop group. What in the fuck? Creepy hotel, dark colors. What? This concept switch is one of my favorites of all time. It's so funny to me. It's like, you couldn't get any further from the original source than Dreamcatcher from Minx. But like, this sound, without being biased, sounds so much like more polished. Miss Ga. Hello, Miss Gahyun. Also, no, 2017 at this point. It's been a year and a half since Minx came back with Love Shake. Dangerous. Oh, what I would do to be able to experience this live again. And then you kind of still get cutesy rapping tone Dami here. What was it? It was a recent shocking interview on Tong Tong Culture where she was explaining how like early day DC she was still putting on that cutesy sound, Chase Me and like Good Night. But you compare that to her like rapping tones from the Apocalypse era, is just completely different. But like this, heavy hitting bass, you got the driving, like almost J-Rock guitar beat, the crunchy guitar. No one was doing this. You had, rock, but you had like groups like Day 6, you had FT Island and stuff like that, doing like rock song. No one was doing it to this level though, back in the day. And no one for sure was doing like an MV concept that was this dark. And like, colors wise, it really isn't, but like, someone breaking into a room with an ass, the literal nightmare concept. No one was doing anything to this scale. unless it was like for Halloween as like a special clip. This is a full-fledged comeback in January. And the music box outro. We're getting a little... I still don't know if this was intentional or unintentional, but the pillow fight scene bringing back little elements of Minx. Da, 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 da. Oh, and thus the nightmare began. Wow. Chase Me. Chase Me is a song that I need to go back to and appreciate more. It's like, this is Dreamcatcher's origin story in a nutshell. Well, technically Minx is Dreamcatcher's origin story, but like, this is Dreamcatcher. This is the start of Dreamcatcher as a group. And I feel like I don't give this song enough attention and its due diligence, because this song really does hit kind of hard, you know? Like, this is like the birthplace of like the rest of the group's discography. Like, the fact that the team behind Dreamcatcher had the confidence to like go with something like this and to try something as outlandish as like a rock, almost heavy rock inspired like nightmare concept, those two, especially combined with like a girl group, was like three things that should not have been put together in this day and age. Because think about 2017, like, what music was coming out like late 2016, early 2017? We're talking about like, what, Twice as TT, Cheer Up, Blackpink's Boombaya, early Blackpink. That was the kind of like girl group, like peak girl group music you were getting. This is so far out of the box. And like, even boy groups wouldn't do concepts like this. But Dreamcatcher did. And this wasn't like the one and done kind of thing. Because we got it again. We got it again only 3 months later. Oh, this music box intro. Ba 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 ba. Also, did you pity Envy? One of my favorite guitar parts in a DC song is this song. Tick tock, kidding, but I don't wanna tick tock. 주의하겠지 주원이 덕담에 흩어져겠지 못할 텐데 Also one of my favorite rap verses like in DC discography history. I love leading Sua rapping and then the back and forth of Dami and Handong. I think it's so cool. Baby, good night. It's also one of the first songs I tried learning on guitar. It's genuinely a really hard song just because of how fast this song is. Ah, and the appearance of the robes. And what good MVs they had too. Like, we'll talk about the musical parts in a sec, but like in terms of the MV, I pointed it out. Directed by Digipedi. This is the same Digipedi that worked on bonkers like big budget like big production MVs like ATEEZ's The Real Hung version, like Luna's PTT. This Digipedi, like in today's day and age, in terms of like MVs, is one of the most like respected MV directors out there right now. The same group or the same person who also directed, funnily enough, EXID's Up and Down, which was a very quirky MV, but like just the cinematicness of the old DC MVs is spectacular to see. Not to say that the modern ones are bad and all, but like with the old, especially like the Nightmare era MVs, just the storytelling is so strong in the MVs, and then the music that pairs with it is just so aggressive and just you can't help but to head. It's not even head bopping; it's head banging at this point. And like when I said earlier about how voices weren't incorporated as well during Mink's era, Good Night is a really good example where it's like you have this really talented vocalist in Shion who can, just absolutely float up the musical register. Give her a moment to shine, but also like if you're gonna pair her with a lower singing part, pair her with a lower singing part, and it's done well here. And let her have a moment to shine. Sure, let her float on up there. Pair her up with someone else. Yeah, pair her up. It's fine. Give it more impact, And it's just the musical direction is better. The MV is better. The choreo is better. If I said MVs yet, we'll say it again. The MVs are better in terms of quality. It's less memeable, but I think that's a good thing. It's just, you debut in January with the super dark nightmare concept. Okay, you're starting to turn heads. You come back 3 months later, again, with this dark nightmare rock concept. More heads are turning, like, what is this? This is different. Oh, surely the third release, the second comeback, surely something. Are they gonna keep up that sound? Oh yeah. Their first ever EP. To be fair, this is a little bit of a departure from the sound of like Good Night and Chase Me. Oh, wrong subtitles. Oops. I quite like this era. This was a really good era. Take it, break it. I love the content that came out during this era too, like the promotional stuff they did, like the off-camera stuff they did as well. Black Heart. Not big on the spiders though. I can figure that out. I also quite like the matching style in this. But still, like, it's almost a bright rock song at this point. But there's still elements of nightmares in it. Point A. Let's get started. And I love, for me, this introduction of like this second high guitar part is so cool. It's like a big black hole in my heart. I'm trapped in the dream. This little break, and then all of a sudden, sparkly magical energy. Psych. And this little like outro, like interlude here, it's like a big black hole in my heart. I'm trapped in the nightmare. We'll get to Full Moon in a second, but that Fly High used to be my favorite title track at one point. There was something about it that just resonated with me. I don't know if it was the fact that it was kind of a brighter sound for them, and that it gave off hints of like anime OSTs that I would watch growing up, like from shows that I would watch growing up. And there was just a part of me that gave me like a sense of nostalgia listening to it every time. I still do very much highly rate Fly High as a song. It isn't my favorite title track to go and listen to, but boy, is it a really good song still. That's an album I would really want to own one day, but old albums are so expensive now. Like, the oldest album I have is the Pink version of Alone in the City, and that was like r/K-pop for sale like snipe one day while I was eating lunch on campus. I was just scrolling through like, ooh, someone is selling this for dirt cheap. Snipe. I mean, no inclusions, it's just like the album, the CD, and the photo book, but still. I'm not too fussed about photo cards. I'm more of a just have all the albums and line them up kind of thing, so I quite enjoy having that album in the lineup. But Fly High and that prequel EP, good stuff. But the 1-year anniversary song, Full Moon. I actually haven't seen the video for this. I've listened to it hundreds of times. Never watched a video for it, so we're in for a treat.
조금씩 같이 걸으면 어디에 있어도 함께일 수 있겠지. 너와 나 잠시 동안 곁에 머물렀던 너의 따스함이 남아서 밤새 뭐 잠들 수 없는 걸 살며시 다가가.
It's this build. Because like this almost guitar beat comes in out of nowhere, and I love it. This song really is such a good way to cap off like anything, like the end of a show or like a concert type of song. Like, I don't know if I want to say this because I don't know if this is true, but I feel like in terms of like MV content, this is like the first time we really get to hear Han-dong's like true vocal color. Because like in the past, Han-dong's like vocal parts were almost like pop rapping types of vocal parts. Like her voice was underutilized in the first few MVs, I think. And like even here, she only got like a little moment to shine, but like we got to experience what her actual vocals were like, you know? Does that make sense?
Sleeping time.
Every time, everywhere.
밤하늘에 저 달빛이 깊게 잠들어도 너의 손을 놓지 않을게 꼭 기억해줘 날 다시 만날 수 있게 날 내 꿈에서 그려줘 함께 물던 밤하늘을 너와 나 약속해라 영원히 빛나는 부활 같은 나의 너처럼
The intricate hand choreo too. Good stuff. Very, very good stuff. I could never understand hand choreo. Like, I understand why it's there because it's super satisfying to watch. I just could never get it down. Like, that little hand move in Full Moon, that, like, the hand moves they do in the chorus in Mago, G-Friend's Mago, just, my brain could not comprehend how they work, but it's so satisfying to watch, isn't it? Full Moon. If this was their song that they did for their first year, right? And they've had other like anniversary songs in the past. I'm recording this the day before it comes out, so the 12th. Dreamcatcher are releasing a special like 6-year single called Reason. I am I don't think I've been excited to hear a song as much as I have about Reason probably since maybe Vision? Like, it's the anticipation of it all, I think. It's the occasion and the anticipation. Because DC's project songs do not miss for me. Yes, there's probably a hint of bias there because this is my old group, but the anniversary songs always have like a special meaning to them. I mean, obviously, it's a celebration for their, you know, for the group's anniversary and so on. But it's just like, which way are they going to go? Like, are they going to go with the super sappy, like, ballad type of song for their 6th year? Or are they going to go with another hard-hitting, like, rock song like Full Moon? Like, I don't know what we're going to get. And that anticipation has me tremendously excited. But next song, we don't go Japanese yet, do we? No, we don't. Iconic era, for me at least. We'll get to it eventually, because it's one specific part that really sticks out for me for this song. 아무도 모르게 다가갈게 now, oh now. 수많은 별이 너만을 비추기 헤매지 않게 눈을 떠봐 내 손을 잡아봐 매일 꿈속에만 그렸던 나잖아 그렇게도 원한 Again, I think this is, I think, another example of Dreamcatcher refining their rock sound, because it's kind of like they're kind of like reverting back to like the Good Night era type of sound. Where is it? Bring it on! Yes! Dreamcatcher.
너를 부르는 목소리가 들려 끝없이 차가워진 눈빛 돌아서가는 너를 숨기고
It's the staff and handkerchief choreo here. It's so cool. It's so elegant. And having the strings in the foreground here for the pre-chorus. This is also a very underrated bridge for me. Because that guitar beat just chugs along, and then all of a sudden, bringing it down. They just kind of like mellowly flow back in. Delayed re-entry into this really hard-hitting chorus. Let the guitar take it away. You and I era. Escaped Era is also an album that is ridiculously hard to find. I don't know what it is about it, but like out of all the albums, especially like the Nightmare Era albums that I've seen on like Mercari and eBay and Instagram and Reddit and stuff, Escape the Era is one of the albums that I just do not see anymore. Like Debut and like Chase Me a Goodnight Era albums I'll see on occasion, because they're like sought after collectibles, and there were so few of them ever printed that you just see them for like, you know, $200-300 unsealed, no inclusions, just like boom, they just randomly appear. But with You and I, it's like, it's that weird in-between time. Same with the prequel EP. But like the Escape the Era and prequel EPs, like physical print albums, you just do not see a lot of on the marketplace. And I mean, even if there was, I wouldn't have the funds for it because I'm still a broke college boy, but this is a really pretty album too, like the teal blue color. Great era though, very good era. This song makes me so happy. Finally got 10 million views a couple months ago. And still current to this day, my favorite DC title. Something about this song, I think it's the fact that it's completely detached from everything they've ever done, like musically. Again, very cool hand choreo. That chorus is so good. care how long, gone too soon. This was an underappreciated look for her, I think. This entire era was underappreciated. What? This was their last title track to reach 10 million views on YouTube? Saving the rap verse for the bridge. Two-part bridge here as well. And the delayed instrumental hit for this final chorus lets Xi'an pop off. What I would do to listen to this live is they don't perform like the Nightmare stuff anymore. They don't even perform Deja Vu anymore live. The oldest thing that I got to hear live in terms of title tracks was Scream. Never got to hear Deja Vu live, never got to hear PIRI live, never got to hear What live, and man, if I had the opportunity to go back in time and just be able to hear them perform these live would have been, oh. I love this era. What is such a good song. It just hits so right with me. It presses all the right buttons. And I know that like a lot of insomnias will meme that if someone asks what is your favorite DC title as a question, they would just return that sentence as a statement and that is your answer. Like, what is my final? Or what is my favorite DC title? What is my favorite DC title? And like we kind of joke around about it, but What for me really is such a good song. It's got a little bit of everything, and it's stylistically really is different from a lot of the stuff that DC were doing around this time. And even though it says third mini album, I don't, in terms of lore, I'm pretty sure it's like a standalone thing, isn't it? If I remember correctly. Lore's not terribly important for me. I just appreciate the music, isn't. I love being able to come back to this song. It's such a good song. Anyways, next. Special clip. Over the Sky. Oh, and another immaculate show ender. Yes, this is a special clip, but if I remember correctly, this was released as a single as well. That's why it's included in here. Oh. Because now we're getting into really short-haired Dami now. You hear that almost arcadey synth in the background? One of my favorite parts of the song. And it's the lyrics that I think makes this so good for the end of the show. Oh, Gayeon's low vocals are so satisfying to listen to.
들려줄게 여전히 날 기억해줄까 널 그리는 마음을 담아 저녁 노래 불거진 너의 뒷모습을 따라만 가 그림자는 멀어지기만 해 약속할게 만날 거야 꼭 다시 지금 내 맘이 널 잡지 못해 흔들리지만 기억할게 When I fly 저기 하늘을 넘어 널 볼 수 있는 걸 대답해줘 머릿속을 가득 채우잖아 나의 숙제 가르쳐줘 답이 없어 절대 풀어지지 못할 문제 내 목소리가
Again, saving the rap verse for the bridge. Very smart. It gives it... Like, you can have the rap in the second verse, but having it in the bridge just has a very different impact statement to it. Break out the sign language one time. Changing the instrumental here so it's not the same musical phrase as the first two choruses. Very clever songwriting again. Very good stuff. That song capping off like a 2.5 hour or 2 hour show is such a nice way to end like a concert, because in terms of like the song, it's very classic Dreamcatcher, like in terms of like the sound they have. But something about the song, regardless if you hear it as a recording or if you hear it live, it just resonates with you as a listener, that it just kind of instills like this like hopeful reunion within you. And like even in the lyrics, that like the entire chorus is pretty much saying that, like, until the next time we meet again. And the song portrays that emotion so well, and even if you don't know the lyrics or just like kind of understand the grasp of the song, if you listen to it, you don't need to understand it to know what they're singing about almost, because you can kind of feel it within you what they're saying. And that's hard to do with a song. That makes sense. I'm so glad they still perform that song as like an encore show ender. But PIRI. We're in 2019 now. So it's been 2 years since the group's debuted. And this is still when they're on the slow grind towards being recognized by the general public. Because at this point, they've garnered a bit of attention at this point. But not enough to really, like, you know, skyrocket them into the charts yet. But PIRI is a great era. There's some iconic moments from this MV. One of my favorites from the Nightmare era, like, in terms of song and MV. I still like What, but this is one of my favorites from this era. Or from this era, the Nightmare era. It's the juxtaposition of the delicate like whistle, the PIRI, and the crunchiest guitar. Oh crap, my shot in our head, oh yeah, Pixie cut down me this time. Just saw her in the background in that shot. I know what you want from me. My favorite title track rap verse. Here we go. I'm sorry, I'm go. I just got it on the do, yeah. I don't want to try to go on and chew, yeah.
놓치고 싶지 않아 내가 손을 뻗어봐 그렇게 쉽지 않아 앞에를 꺾어봐
That rap verse is so hard. And frankly, I wish they would let Gayon rap more, because that 1-2 rap verse of Gayon and Tami is still to this day my favorite rap section in any DC song, full stop. It's so satisfying to listen to. This scene still weirds me out. Nah. Sua, get out of there. Nah. Emergency. Bring it back down one time. Down for me. Now it's not too late. Send me home now. Oh, the entire song. Oh no, I did not mean to do that. Oh, I got PIRI as a song is essentially taking the phrase contrast creates focus and just writing with it the entire song. The delicate, almost shrill of the PIRI paired with the crunchy guitar in the intro. You have a super delicate pre-chorus going into the hard chorus. Then you have Tami and Gayon's rap verses contrasting the two voices together. Oh my, I cannot, you know what? It's my video, I can do what I want, right? We're going again, because it's my video, I can do what I want.
아무 소리 없는 거 엄청 나를 보내도 I don't wanna die 나를 찍고 오는 중 놓치고 싶지 않아 내가 손을 뻗어봐 그렇게 쉽지 않아 앞에를 꺾어봐
Oh, that rap verse is so good. I miss Gayon rapping. Genuinely, I miss Gayon rapping, because you got to see even more of it during the dystopia era, but nothing recently. It makes me sad. We got rapper Sua back for Vision, but that rap verse is like prime Gayon, and that is prime Maknae line things. Oh, I love this song. Have I said that enough? This video, I love this song for like every single song they've done so far. Next. We're getting into the Japanese market. Now, if you're seeing this on YouTube and the next video isn't like filtered or blocked in any way, we did well. If it is filtered or blocked or got completely cut off, we're watching Breaking Out from their first Japanese release. And if this didn't make it onto YouTube, that means Pony Canyon said no. So this may be over on Google Drive. If you're watching it uncensored there, hello Google Drive. Welcome to DC's Japanese discography. If this got cut out of the YouTube video, apologies in advance. Unedited versions down below in the pinned comment. But here Here we go. Breaking Out. The Japanese releases for DC, I don't actually watch the MVs for all that often. I'll get them in my Spotify playlist, but it's a very different sound, isn't it? Not anymore, because we get the guitar now. Breaking out of the dark. Low-key, DC's Japanese discography has some of the crunchiest, hard-hitting guitar parts in DC's entire discography. Like, even in this song, it's like splitting it half and half, like the hard rock sound with like an almost like boomba sound. Like, this type of beat, you would hear someone like Card or even someone like Unbi rock sound like this. And I love this pre-chorus transitioning into this rock sound here. So breaking out of the dark night. And like the thing with the MVs here, with the Japanese ones releases especially, you can tell that the budget is nowhere near the same as it is with the Korean releases. But frankly, I don't think it really matters all that much. Because like, for me, and this is a very personal like take on it, but the MV really doesn't matter if the song is really good. And with this song, like, and pretty much any new group that produces a lower budget MV with their song, if the song hits, it doesn't matter what the budget of the song is. Play around with the speed ramping there a little bit. I quite like that song. And frankly, this is one of actually the first times I've ever watched the MV for this. Because usually, I think I watched reaction videos to this song, like back in the day when it dropped. Or, I guess after it dropped, technically. Because my first comeback was Scream, but I'd see reaction videos to this and people being like, oh, the MV's underwhelming. To an extent, I agree, but I think that's not the point, is for me, as someone who like takes in music before the visuals first anyways, like the MV really doesn't matter. And if, you know, people's backgrounds are more towards like the music production or the video production, filmography type of thing, then yes, I can understand where they're coming from. But for me, if the song hits, I don't care if the MV is literally just a still shot of the album cover. I'm gonna enjoy it anyways. And I think after I'm done recording this, I might go back and try playing this on my guitar. But we are not even halfway done yet, I don't think. Like, we're not even halfway done yet. And we've been going for an hour, so make sure, hydration break, snack check, do what you need to do, and let's get it going on to the next song. This one. I'm gonna get the salt out of the way now. The song that should have gotten them their first win. That's it. Rant over. This song, yes, it's in collaboration with Kingsraid the video game, right? But oh, this song, I think for a lot of people, will stand clear at the top for favorite title track. Because this song is so iconic in multiple ways. Musically, visually. Because this is again a very different rock sound. This is like what I would almost borderline classify like symphonic rock. Kind of like what Forstella do. And then we get vocalist Tommy. Oh, genuinely spine chilling. Like I get goosebumps listening to this verse every single time. And then iconic line, Handong holding her pain. I think what does it for me with this song is just the extreme like choral elements, because you get this, you know, super, it's almost a slow percussion part in like comparison to the rest of the DC discography. It's super slow. You have all these like choral elements behind it. It's got this majestic sound to it that not many other DC songs can match. And now we're back to like classic Deja Vu Dreamcatcher style now. Peep the harmonies here as well. Let it trail away. Oh, this was an era. Like, hold on, I've got the album over here actually. Where are you? Yes, the Rate of Dream album. This was spectacular. This was also like a very short album if you think about it, because you have the intro, you have Deja Vu, Curse the Spider, which I haven't listened to that song in a hot minute, but Silent Night, show favorite. Everyone knows Silent Night in the DC community. That EDM drop, oh! And then Polaris. I think, to this day, my favorite ballad they've ever done. It's such a good song. And just, oh, the era, the album, oh man. The thing is, like, Rate of Dream was the era that put DC on the map for a lot of people. Even the general public, considering, you know, they were up to win the show with... Who was it? It was Everglow, right? I think it was Everglow. To be fair, that Everglow have not missed with a title track So I'm not throwing shade at Everglow in any way, shape, or form. I love them to death. But Raid of Dreams should have been the era that gotten them their first win, that put them into the spotlight. To be fair, that did boost their popularity quite a bit, because if I'm correct in thinking, next era in terms of Korean comebacks was Scream and the Dystopia series. We got a new era and everything, and this is where I became an Insomnia too. But oh no, we don't, because we have a special single to get to first. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, refill my water and things like that, and I'll be back with you in a couple seconds. Okay, break over. I saw that Kit Insomnic C uploaded their Dreamcatcher 6-year anniversary video, so I think I'm gonna go get ready to cry my eyes out over that video after I'm done recording all this. But I think might shed a tear or two on this one as well, depending on how I'm feeling today, because oh man, this is one of the most like emotional songs I think that anybody from DC's released. Like, if you know the story behind Paradise, it hits so much harder. If you don't know, I implore you, go and just look it up in your free time, because for Shion and for like us as Dreamcatcher fans and Dreamcatcher as a group as a whole, Paradise is such a meaningful song to them as a group, and to Shion especially. I mean, she has it tattooed on the back of her neck, for crying out loud. Like, it's a super impactful, super important song, and I just... this song's so good, too. But anyways, here we go. Paradise. Let's get back into the swing of things, shall we?
어딘가 숨 쉴 수 있는 곳 어딜까 아픈 눈물 없는 곳 아무도 그 아무도 모르게 Close your eyes 멀어져만 가는 기억 끝끝에 알아 언제나 넌 미소 뒤편으로 맘을
Again,
가려
very different from your typical DC song. But again, this isn't Dreamcatcher, this is Shion. Lee's no longer partaking in production, as well as Shion has credits for everything. Like, this is well and truly her song. Oh, also, if you're Shion biased, I'm extremely sorry, because she's going to kill you in this MV.
Run away, 숨 쉴 수 있는 곳 Run away, 아픈 눈물 없는 곳 Broken heart, 시간이 더 갈수록 Close your eyes, 점점 흐려지는 너의 눈앞에
That like almost glitchy synth works so well for the song. Oh jeez, the sky is bright. It is pouring rain outside all of a sudden.
run away. 숨 쉴 수 있는 곳, 숨 쉴 수 있는 way. 아픈 눈물 없는 곳. Don't you cry, far away as you leave. Open your eyes, 긴 밤을 건너 눈앞에 펼쳐질 paradise.
This song is so good. I love this song so much. Oh, Shion, I love the song. I love the meaning behind it. This was originally released as a single before Dystopia, the Tree of Language. I'm so happy it got included as a track on that album as well. Yeah, that's it. I love this song so much. It holds a special place in my heart. Because now we get to move on to brand new era. Get to move on to a lot of people's first Dreamcatcher comeback, I think. Because this was the period when Dreamcatcher blew up. Scream. Dystopia, the Tree of Language. Oh. So, did I say 44 subtitles? Ooh. Look at you go, Dreamcatcher Company. But, yeah, this was my first comeback. And, that meant, unfortunately, I didn't get to experience Handong in a Dreamcatcher title for another year after this. Because she was off in China on Youth With You. So, I only got to experience OT6 Dreamcatcher for my first year as an Insomnia. Which is really strange to think about now. But, here we go. Purple haired Jiu, a look. TM. Jackaboom, badaboom, 물고. 시선이 느껴져와. 혈관을 타고 흐르는. Oh, pain. 묶여진 두 손 저려 오는 이 느낌. 모두 내게 돌을 던져도 벗어나지 못해. 하나도 난 재미없어. 누구를 위해서인지 누가 the
좀
seventh
말해줘.
masked
Tell
member.
me. 타오르는 불길 위에 나. Please, I don't want to scream. Please, I don't want to scream. 가면죄 트릭 가소로운 freak 거진 증오가 나 무작위 속의 target 타오른 갈증 삼켜도 위선은 더
And the mask goes somewhere off the crowd.
후회만 남을 선택이 돼
Again, Kayon Dami back to back.
상처되어 파고들어도 끊지 못하는 숨 하나도 난 알 수 없어 누구를 위해서인지 누가 좀 말해줘 tell me 피어오른 연기 속에 나 Please I don't want to scream
Devil. this was an era. It's interesting to watch all these back to back to back and just see the progression of how they've changed. And like especially now that we're in the dystopia era now, that just like the way the MVs are being shot in terms of like the moving shots, the stills, the CG, the outfits, the choreo. Shout out Hwang Soo-yeon one time, shout out you. But like their progression and just watching them change little by little, it's so interesting to watch. Because like this Scream era visually is very different to the Nightmare era. Like you throw it back to PIRI, the MV for PIRI, the sound, the visuals in terms of like the fits and their looks, and the MV like film itself is so different. Do I like one more than the other? I quite like both. Sorry, I'm offended on this one, but this one brings back memories because this was the one that up until then I'd been like a very closeted K-pop fan. But like in terms of like my musical interests that I expressed outwardly was all about 80s. So like 80s pop, 80s rock, 80s metal, even 80s hip hop to an extent. But like this brought me to a place where it was like, oh man, my interests of like 80s rock music and K-pop are coming together. And this is when I truly realized that a group like this existed. And deep spiral into the black hole, and here we are 3 years later. Never looked back since. Next song, what do we Japanese, Endless Night. Okay, again, I think, right? If we want to talk about heavy rock, I think we got it. This is a rock song that's very early 2000s. Groups like, it reminds me a lot of Volbeat. If anyone's familiar with like heavy rock. Japanese MV budget has gone up a little bit, but still it's nothing compared to the Korean side. And now we get into J-Rock. Like, this sudden bright chorus is very J-Rock. That running guitar in the background too, as a guitarist, very tasty. I do not remember Suwa getting this much attention in this song, as I realized. That progression there is so nice. very crunchy guitars. I think Endless Night. So we have, in terms of Japanese release, we have this and then Eclipse coming up. Yeah, the Japanese like MVs and the Japanese releases definitely have a very different sound signature to them compared to like the Korean releases. And it makes sense, like, you know, it's a Japanese release, they lean more towards the classic J-rock sound. Just, they never really gained traction the way they did in Korea and Japan. Because they shut down, like, their Japanese social media and stuff last year. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. Thank God it did on the Korean side, because wow, imagine. But let's see, we're in 2020 now. I'm trying to think in reference to like, so we're well and truly into the 4th gen period now. Like this isn't like this is early 4th gen proper instead of like the first sprinklings of 3rd gen like back in Mink's era. I'm trying to think, who else did rock sounds like this? Because we had groups like One We now. One We, the Rose, Lucy, like we had the groups out of Superband that debuted around this, or before and around this time. And we probably would have had more groups like this debut had it not been for COVID. Because this was, when was this? This was March 2020, so this was almost quite literally a week before the world shut down. East Asia probably would have been shut down around this time already. Wow. Imagine had COVID not happened, just how differently the industry would have progressed. But this one, when I was making this playlist, I was looking at like discography, and I saw that there was a collaboration piece. I didn't actually know this song existed until 24 hours ago. The Melanesia Project. This is a COVID song. I didn't realize Dreamcatcher did a collaboration song with this. Alexa and Intuit. I've never seen this.
I know what you've been thinking. I know what you've been told. I know it's crazy now. We never had this problem.
Hello, Miss Alexa. Are we getting like little elements of like tropical house, Caribbean-ish? This is a straight up cheesy ass COVID song, and I love it. Why do I really like this? I've just seen Dreamcatcher dab in 2023. I don't know how I feel about that. And the fact that it's Sua and Dami together. Hey yo, hold up. Why do I really like unironically love this song?
Hi everyone, we are Alexa.
Dreamcatcher.
We're very proud to join UNESCO's Global Education Coalition. Now, more than ever, we must shine a light on the world's teachers as they work hard to ensure that learning never stops.
I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. It's... You know what this... Zany Bros. Oh. Well then. Okay. But you know what this song is? It's what I imagine Minx would be doing had they continued. This is a very Minx feeling song. I didn't know this existed, and I'm so glad I do now, because this is, like, I'm assuming this is just end credits. Wow, this is so cheesy. Oh. Yeah. Alexa, Girl Crush doesn't want to do cute Dreamcatcher, Dark Evil Pop, Cleanliness and Dance is also Dreamcatcher and Alexa. Man, I really enjoyed it. That was a really good serotonin boost. Ooh, okay. Is this on Spotify? This might be one of those like guilty pleasure types of songs. Oh, this is a song I actually did not realize was where it fits in with the discography timeline. R.o.S.E BLUE is a weird time for me personally. And conceptually, it's mainly because I don't actually understand what it's associated with. I've never seen it, watched it, played it. And we don't have subs, right? Yeah. What this is, though, is a cinematic film of kind of bonkers levels considering when this was shot. That running bass line in the back gives off very like video game vibes. Actually, I'm gonna Google that while we're going here. Ah, it is a video game. That makes sense. I feel like this, like, I feel like that little section of Dami film roll has been used in so many thumbnails where it's like ranking my top girl crushes or like ranking top female rappers, stuff like that. R.i Shion? I'm joking, but also This little string interlude part. Good stuff. It does take you on a journey watching this film again. It's been a hot minute since I've watched the MV for this. I actually listened to this morning when I was doing dishes, but man, this song still does confuse me a little bit, like in terms of the MV, and I'm gonna guess it's maybe because I don't actually understand what the video game is about. I think I might have to look into that. Like, same with King's Raid, I don't actually know like too much about it apart from like the off-screen like content they did for it. But it's nice to see them, like, instead of just doing, you know, their promotional like comebacks and albums, that we get little collaboration pieces like this, because like their sound really does fit like the video game and the anime OST aesthetic. Like, I think more groups now are, especially with their recent sound, is also fitting of that whole like anime OST, video game OST like type sound. Like TXT did that one for, was it Black Clover? So that was a really good song, but like, we're getting more and more K-pop groups kind of shifting over into the Japanese like TV world with anime OSTs, and it makes me really happy because their sound genuinely does fit that like musical style that an anime OST needs. And it's seeing, just, I'll be watching a show just randomly, and then once you get to the end credits, it's like, wait, I recognize this voice, and then you keep watching, and in the end credits you see like Tomorrow by Together, or like Tongfang Shinki, DBSK, TVXQ, depending on where you're from, like Toho Shinki, like, oh, I see, it makes sense. It's very satisfying as a Japanese person who enjoys K-pop music, seeing them in another art form that I also very much enjoy watching. But oh man, we haven't even made it to BOCA yet. Oh boy. Iconic song number 2, or iconic song take 30,000. I've talked at lengths about this song in my concert retell when I went to the London show. But this song truly was iconic for so many reasons. I'm waiting for it. Knock a door. Wow. Hold Up, I'm a Geek Paradox is, man, it still hits so hard to this day. Water choreo.
눈 감아서 막혀 넌돈 맞춰만 밟지 넌 뒷걸음만 쳤다면 더 이상 변하지 않아 뻔하지 난
Get the key, I'm such a freak.
너 이제 그만둬
So much to do.
바짝 따라와 뭘 다 가면
Lock the door, lock the door. Again, guy on dummy 1-2 rap punch. Also, one of my favorite pieces of group choreo they've done, that weird spiraling like lean over thing they do. This was an era. This entire album is really good, actually. I have the albums over here. This is actually, I don't have any Tree of Language albums. Dystopia, Lose Myself. I don't have the limited album for this version yet. But Break the Wall, iconic. Can't Get You Out of My Mind. Oh my goodness, that song is so good. And then Dear is such a nice, calm way to end the album, but the B-sides on this album are spectacular. The entire Dystopia era, I think, in terms of like all-round albums, I truly enjoy. Like Tree of Language, their first studio album, had so many good songs on it. It had songs like Tension, it had Red Sun, it had Jazz Bar, it had In the Frozen, like, oh, immaculate. And then, No More. Okay. This I've not seen the video for. That bass and guitar is like, you only get sounds like that when your guitar is like tuned down, not like half step. We're talking like open C tuning, like way low. And then that. You get like a little sprinkling of higher pitched dummy in this. I never caught that before. whoever was the guitarist that played this has a very similar like musical style to Herman Lee from Dragon Force. It's the way his notes are played. It very much reminds me of a lot of Dragon Force music. Silent night. They go past the home key there as well. But like this song chucks. Like the super tuned down guitar, the running bass, the 16th note bass kick or the kick drums, they're all just chugging. I didn't realize it was like a visualizer type of MV for this. Because again, I've never seen the video for this. The song I've listened to a handful of times. It's a song that I don't really go back to all that often because it doesn't really fit on a playlist that I have. But this thing just chugs, doesn't it? Like, it just keeps going and going and going. Ah. This was a great comeback. Odd Eye. January... Oh, I have fruit flies in my room now. Oh, boy. January 2021. My first comeback with Handong. Also a great era as well. Looks, music, the MV was great as well. Welcome back, Miss Handong. The guitar part of this song is so busy if you pay attention to it. No, utopia. Yeah. Live it up. Oh. Handong verse. I love that almost like siren type sounding sound in the background. It's so needed for the song. Like without it, the song sounds so empty. I remember when they were doing the behind the scenes for this era, and Handong was in the studio with Lee's, and he made a comment saying that the dystopia era was great. Not having Handong, there were parts of the songs where Handong's voice was so sorely missed, and it's so true because like Handong really does have a unique voice in Dreamcatcher, and just the fact that we went 2 albums without him, without that voice. Oh, also, if you're a Shia buyer, RIP in peace again. Jeez. In the end, the Dreamcatchers couldn't find the utopia they dreamed of. man, this Dystopia series was so good. Like, the B-sides on it were tremendous. Like, this era had Wind Blows and Poison Love. Oh, iconic era. And the fact that we had Handong back for it as well. Like, I remember seeing the news that Handong was coming back and just being like, oh, it's like what I'm going to feel like when I see Shonu back in the Monster X lineup for the first time, which I'm assuming is going to be like next era, because all I've known as Monster X was a 5-member group. Much like how I found Dreamcatcher as a 6-member group, I had to wait comeback after comeback until we got Handong back from China. I'm gonna get the exact same feeling watching and listening to the next Monster X come back, knowing that Shonu is gonna be in it. Great stuff. What a good era. Next. The final Japanese release. Before we get to the other song, I just want to play a couple seconds of Don't Light My Fire, because I love this song so much. Just compare this to Eclipse. It is completely different. Like, this song is very like symphonic metal, symphonic rock. One of my favorite Japanese songs they've ever done. Makes me sad because we probably won't get any more Japanese stuff. Full stop. But oh well. You live and you learn, and you take what you can get. Now this one, Shadow, I actually did not know. No, I knew of it existing. I actually haven't listened to this like ever. Makes me feel like a fake fan, but it's Shion and Dami had done an OST for something, and I've seen it on like posts and stuff, because especially when Suwa did her Cafe Minamdang OST last year, it popped up that like Shion and Dami had done an OST in the past. I'm like, oh, very cool. I did not know that, but never really checked it out. So, first time listen. Here we go. It's kind of like a Last of Us, Walking Dead type of film drama.
I'm gonna stay. I lost my way. 까맣게 타버린 내 심장 속에 I'm still alive. No way. 빛이 나는 어둠 속의 그림자들처럼 빛이 나는 어둠 속의 그림자들처럼 Never gonna let you
Vocalist Dami. Let's go.
기다림이 지쳐갈 때쯤 Leave me alone 저 멀리 끝이 보여 까맣게 타버린 나의 심장에 온길 얹어 붉게 물들어가도록 난 기도해 I lost my way 까맣게 타버린 내 심장 속에 I'm still alive. No way. 빛이 나는 어둠 속의 그림자
Tommy. Ooh. Now that is a different type of Dami and Shion that I'd never experienced before. Wow. I'll be honest, the show had me kind of intrigued as well. Like, I remember playing The Last of Us for the first time way back in the day. Gave off similar vibes. Like, remember when Walking Dead was huge? What is this from, actually? Very curious. There's a show. There's a title. I'm going to Google Translate. Okay. Oops. Is it called Dark Hole? Still very interesting. It's musically something I've never heard. I've heard Shion do stuff similar, like when she covered EXO's Overdose on that show, V1, back in the day. But this is a whole different type of Dami I've never heard before. Because we've had vocalist Dami in like Deja Vu and like the ballads. We got vocalist Dami in her solo on Apocalypse Save Us, but this was very different. Like she was putting off like main vocal energy. But I believe we're getting into the in-between period now. This opening sequence here, in terms of film, watch the shot. Still the same shot. Also, Gahyun's facial emotions there. Still one shot, still one shot. Finally a new shot. That is the longest one-er in a hot minute. Keep in mind, this is Dreamcatcher's version of a summer song. The album was called Summer Holiday. This released in like August. This is pretty much a Halloween song that released 2 months early. If there's one thing that Gayeon absolutely wrecks me with every single music video is when she has a close-up and it's just her way of serving face by portraying emotions is just, that ability she has is second to none almost. Like there are not many people, if any people, full stop, that can portray emotions better than Gayeon can.
wanna be.
Cause I like you.
손에 가득 찬 너 영원히 안 될래 가사 같은 날 불러 사랑한단 말해 Cause I love you.
Oh. This song, I will be honest, I didn't like all that much in the very beginning because this is Dreamcatcher's version of a summer song and also Dreamcatcher's version of like an anti-drop. That first chorus hit does not hit as hard as a lot of other DC title tracks do. It's the second part of that chorus that really picks up when you get the guitar energy that breaks back in. This song's grown on me a lot in the months and the year and a half that it's been out. It's a very clever song, and it's I always find it so amusing that like whenever say I'm on like a Discord or something and I have to explain that like what a Dreamcatcher summer song is like, and I just give them because, and it's like, really? Are you sure about that? This is their summer song. Like, look when it came out. It came out at the end of July, even July 30th. This is a summer song for Dreamcatcher. And like, this is a summer concept. Yet this is also probably one of the most Halloweeny nightmarish songs in terms of like MV concept we got since the Nightmare era and P. Rack that around for change. Like, it's really weird. Do I love it? Oh yeah. Is it like, in terms of normalcy, is it really out of place? Oh yeah. But because it's Dreamcatcher, it kind of doesn't matter. But now we're getting into the new stuff. Apocalypse era. We're two eras down, one to go. And in fact, this one's still ongoing. Maison was an era. 2022 was 2020 and 2021. DC absolutely blew up with like Dystopia series, and even before then, you know, had Deja Vu and Rated Dream. Popularity was going up and up and up. And then finally, we got 2022. We got Maison. We got the long-anticipated second studio-length album. Handong was on it. It was essentially 2 EPs in one, right? Because we had every single member solo, so 7 solo tracks, and then the A side of the album, or disc 1 of the album, which was all like the group songs and stuff. But let's watch Maison together, shall we? First time going 100% green screen. I remember this was a very hit or miss opinion for a lot of people. Also a very different sound. Your habit now. Send my home in the jungle. Send my home in the polar. Chicken and I Maison. Please someone fight for us. Send my home in the ocean. Send my home in the desert. Chicken and I Maison. Please someone fight for us. 사람들은 다 하고 싶은 대로 해. 진심 비운 껍데기 뿐인 거 왜? 눈치를 끈감어. 기다리다가 딱 봐도 보이지 않는 미래. 후회들은 이미 늦었단 걸 알아. 너 변하기만 하면 닥쳐. Be my side. 이상하게 덥지. 이상하게 덥지. 마치 말라가는 네 양심과 똑같이. This bridge is, oh man, I forgot what's some of my favorite bridges. This one is part of that list. This is leading to the final chorus here. Chicken man, I'm Maison. And then sing a hole in the jungle, sing a hole in the polar. This is one of, if not my favorite, final chorus Dreamcatcher have done. It's, oh my goodness, like almost operatic like nature of this final chorus is spine chilling. It is orgasm inducing, for lack of a better word. I apologize I had to describe it that way, but can we play that part again? Like can we go from Sua's like post chorus again? We're gonna do it anyways. Someone fight for us. It's the way the instrumental changes here. Also, my favorite one-shot like screen grab from the entire Apocalypse series so far is this shot right here. It's just so, yes, like they aren't looking all in the same place, but it just looks so badass. Like the stills you could grab from this last like little sequence, this final like post chorus is, oh man, the looks. And like, oh, also, if we're talking about Ga and her like little facial reactions, the little scrunch she does, lethal. And I'm one that doesn't really care all that much about like visuals and stuff, but lethal. What's the freaking eyebrow raise she does before too? Jeez. Oh, this song was so good. And this song really was like the crowning moment for Dreamcatcher. Because think about it. This song had been 5 years, over 5 years since they had debuted. It had been 5 years and over 3 months since they debuted. And this was a song that finally got him a music show win. The music show win that they had been robbed of 2-3 years before. This 2022 truly was like the crowning year for DC. Their second studio album, they went on a world tour. They did the Americas with Maison and they did Europe with Vision. They performed at a rock festival in Spain as a K-pop group. They were part of a lineup of a Spanish rock show as a K-pop group. They got their long-awaited music show win. They had their second music show win with this song. They beat the 7-year curse, or supposed 7-year curse if you include like 2 years from Minx, but they re-signed. They are not from a big company. Dreamcatcher company are very tiny. And yet consistently they've been punching clear of the 100,000 album sales. 2022 was their culminating year. And frankly, if they keep this momentum up, 2023 could be in for a time and a half. But this isn't the last song. We have one more to check out. One that actually started this channel way back in October, November. What an era this was. We got practical sets back too, which is very nice. It's a shame they couldn't get a win with this era, but frankly, I'm all for the fact that music show wins really don't matter anymore. Yes, it's a good sign of, like, domestic popularity and whatnot, but... Oh, there she goes again with the faces. Yeah, turning over page, turning over page, turning over page, open page, God, you die, jet, victim, big pain, deep bread, talking like Jackie Chan, quickly, swiftly. This was also another thing that grew on me. I didn't really like this rap verse all that much, but I quite like it now, and we get rappers Sue back. Also, speaking of visually, Handong served this era. You get a little bit of vocalist Davi here in the chorus. Also, again, apologies to the Shion biases. R.I.P. in peace. I give you a vision. Oh man, 2 hours and 20 minutes of Dreamcatcher content. Oh, if we're talking about a marathon, I think we got a marathon. Oh my, there's we go. My stream deck works. We're good. Wow, what a good time. Honestly, like truly speaking from the heart, standing DC has been like one of the best times. Cause like they've really provided, like, they came into my life at a point where it was rough. You know, this was, I just finished my undergraduate, I was in the workforce, I'd just gotten a COVID notification, like I was gonna be working from home, I didn't know what I was gonna be doing. Dreamcatcher came around, and it's like, this was the point where I kind of stopped caring about what people thought about me in terms of like music taste and like the menial stuff that didn't really matter. It's just like they fit the mold perfectly. They were like my gateway drug into being an open like K-pop stan, because they gave me a sound that I could enjoy like openly and just relate to something that I had openly enjoyed in the past, and allowed me to enjoy something that I'd really enjoyed in secret without almost being like embarrassed to be associated as a K-pop stan. Because you have to remember that like growing up in a predominantly white, like suburban environment in Midwestern America, if you like K-pop, you were considered one of the weirdos. Because K-pop didn't make it to that corner of society for us. Because it was all about your, your classic like Kiss FM, like Katy Perry, Justin Bieber. Um, who else is there? Who else was popping off at that time? But like, your mainstream Western pop, or you had people that went for like your more like rapping heavy tone. You didn't get hardly anyone that enjoyed K-pop openly because it was like societal suicide to be an open K-pop fan. But like when you go off to college, people don't really care about that, and it's like Dreamcatcher almost made it okay to be a K-pop stan. And fast forward to now, it's like I'm uploading myself rambling over K-pop videos for fun now. I don't make money off of it. I just do it for the hell of it, and I really enjoy it. And I think it's just goes to show that like if you really are passionate about something that you really enjoy, other people will be damned enjoy it. Which leads me into my final point. Do not go in fan war with other fandoms. It's so pointless. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your effort. Don't do it. Like in recent times, especially since we have TXT coming back soon, and they've been really killing it with the rock sound, especially with like I Know I Love You, Loser Lover, Good Boy Gone Bad. They've really been killing that rock sound, and all props to them. I've really enjoyed all three songs. But going on Twitter or like Reddit or any form of social media and just seeing Insomnia's and MOA's clash about who is like the leader in the rock sound and K-pop scene, like, oh, grow up. It may So what if Dreamcatcher debuted with a rock sound in 2017? So what if TXT are going with a rock sound in the recent comebacks? So what if the pop rock or punk rock sound is having a resurgence these days? It doesn't mean that DC started it all. Rock has been around since the 40s and 50s. It's not a thing that Dreamcatcher came up with. Even rock within like the K-pop sphere didn't originate with Dreamcatcher. So Insomnias, please stop going and looking for a fight about people who think that their groups originated the rock sound, because it makes us look bad. Please. But all said and done, like with all the negatives out of the way, Insomnias really are a nice bunch of people. Like everyone I've met has been super nice, super friendly, super engaging, whether it be online or whether it be in person at like shows and stuff. It's a really nice tight knit group of just a whole bunch of people from all sorts of life, all walks of life, and it's really heartwarming to see that music can bring so many people together like this. And it might be 6 years down the road for them, and it will be 9 come September for the 5 members from Minx. But hopefully they stay around for a long time coming, not just like for the 7th and 8 years. Hopefully they can stick around until 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. I think it'd be a really nice story, not just like not being selfish, but I think a group from a not so big company like Happy Face, now Dreamcatcher company, going with a sound that really wasn't all that popular with the general public. It's just Dreamcatcher for me are like the textbook definition of persistence, because they didn't gain too much popularity with their rock sound originally, but they didn't abandon it. The team behind Dreamcatcher and Dreamcatcher themselves didn't abandon that sound of being unique with that dark nightmare rock sound, and they're around for 6 years running now. And like I think the harsh reality of the K-pop industry is that domestic success and like album sales and stuff does not guarantee longevity, because look at what happened to G-Friend, look at what happened to Eyes One, look at what happened to who else, like who was around for like 21 were icons, but they didn't stick around for an extremely long time. Look at G-Friend, they were like the pinnacle of third gen girl group music, and they just kind of disappeared after Mago because Source Music did Source Music things. But besides that, like, on the other hand, you have groups like Super Junior, you have groups like TVXQ, you have groups like SNSD who just, regardless of what's happened, they just keep continuing to produce music. And I'm really hoping that Dreamcatcher could be another group that can have that kind of longevity. That's all I wish for. That and just continuing to produce spectacular music. I, for one, am tremendously excited for that 6th anniversary song tomorrow, as well as the continuation of the Apocalypse series. And you can bet your ass that whenever that song and that album drops, I will be checking it out right here. So look forward to that in the future. But that's it for me today. Congratulations. Nearly 2.5 hours of me rambling and listening to Dreamcatcher music. Hello. I hope you're all doing well. But that's it for me today. If you want to check out more from me, channel icon is up there. You can find the back catalog stuff I watched in the past. Drop a subscription if you want to keep up to date with some upload new videos. And if you want to watch another video of mine right away, YouTube recommends you watch that video down there. And until next time, goodbye.